Hello everybody, GrayStillPlays, and today I want to talk about a suggested topic from GG Gamers. When in the last video I asked you folks if you had any suggestions as to what you'd like to see a video on regarding No Man's Sky. GG Gamers suggested a video about the character we'll be playing ourselves, such as are we human, where do we come from, etc. Now recognize that this is going to be purely theory-based, upon as much analysis as the gameplay we've seen can give us. The best part about having a community though is that I may clearly be missing things that you folks see. So if you found something in some footage or a screenshot that makes a suggestion as to what exactly the player might be, feel free to add that. Now we've really only had one Sean Murrayism that talks about the character aspect of whom we play. That was back in 2015 in a Game Informer article when he said, "I think we will probably surprise people in terms of how they look. You effectively see their suit, so you won't know what's inside. It still won't answer for people whether you are an alien or whether you are human or what you look like. Thank you, Sean, for being as vague as humanly possible. Don't worry though, we still love you." I'll start with my opinion right off the bat, although I'll have some additional theories at the end of the video. I think that our character is human. Rather, it's more probably appropriate to say humanoid, since Earth doesn't even exist as we know in No Man's Sky. Or rather, I could say we're relative to humans, meaning 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, a torso, etc. Now obviously I could be wrong, but that's the fun of making this little analysis. The game as we've seen it so far does not make it easy to make a determination about this. In fact, the game does everything it can to ensure that you have no clues at all. In the gameplay we've seen, I've never observed the character cast a shadow. When the character jumps into the water or comes upon a window, there's never any reflection. When the character changes out ammunition, we never get to see their hand. Even when they strike a creature with a melee attack, we never actually see the arm. And when they look down, we never get to see their feet. Or at least in the gameplay footage, no one's ever looked down far enough to see their feet. For the purposes of making that determination, I'm going to break down the analysis into 2 parts, an observational part and a game mechanics part. First, here are some things that would suggest our character being humanoid from an observational standpoint. When Anthony Carboni kills and scans various creatures, we get to see their height. Although there's no indicator of the unit being used for the height, I'm assuming it's meters, since the other measurement values appear to be utilizing the metric system. The crab creature he slaughters has a height of 1.42, meaning if it's meters, it has a height of approximately 4.66 feet. It also appears that the crab roughly comes up to the chest or abdominal level of the character, putting the character at an approximately 6 foot tall, pretty standard for a human being. The multi-tool in the game has a fairly standard trigger and shape, akin to a firearm that would be made by humans. Beyond the trigger and the trigger guard suggesting a finger and hand, this particular multi-tool also has a stock that you would typically put into the shoulder pocket for stabilization. When the character walks in the game, there's a slight screen motion to suggest the character is walking at a 2-legged gait. When the character takes damage from an environmental hazard, there's a typical human male sounding that resonates through the helmet, so at least we know our character isn't squeaking or blorping or something. The character clearly has no capacity to survive outside of an environment that would be harmful to human beings. Negative 162 degrees Celsius is too cold. Obviously, that's really freaking cold no matter who you are. The character can't survive in toxic rain, extreme heat, and diving too far also will kill the character without suit upgrades. Now here's some game mechanics that would suggest the character being humanoid. Game mechanics are a tricky thing. For the most part, it appears the game wants to put you in the world of No Man's Sky, where you are the character. But then, where does the 4th wall begin, so to speak? Here's what I mean. The heads-up display, which for role-playing purposes is clearly supposed to be the information relayed to us by our helmet as it does flicker and jitter whenever the character takes damage, relays information in human terms, meaning temperature is in Celsius, although I do remember Sean saying he would add a Fahrenheit option while chuckling. It utilizes a typical numeric and alphabet system, etc. The issue is, would this be put in simply to make things easier on us, human beings that play the game, who already understand things in Celsius and numbers and letters? Going further than that though, Colors are relayed to us in fairly familiar shades, and sounds are relayed in a familiar spectrum. Again, this could just be done to make things easier on the player, but there have been plenty of games that have had an alternate vision style the player could use because the player was not playing a human character. Now, it's easy to argue the other side of this discussion. In fact, the other two ideas floating around in my head is that we're all clones of the extinct human race, thus no man's sky, or we're all robots programmed by humans, who again were extinct, which would reasonably show why all the data readouts are in typical human being lingo. But that's the fun of a video topic like this. The sheer volume of discussion the topic can give brings me to this video's question. What do you think we are in No Man's Sky and why? Are there any gameplay snippets or snafus that you've seen that maybe the public wasn't supposed to notice that gives us an indication of what we might be? Do you have any theories that you'd just like to share? Feel free to leave your analysis in the comments section below, and as always, stay foxy and much love.